Conspiracy Sean in the building. Geyser. Simple, man. Shout out to Spiritual Soul. So I've been reading two books, man. And they've enlightened me on the abyss. So if you don't know what the abyss is, Carl Jung, very famous and popular philosopher, he noted that we have this thing called the shadow within us. There's actually a couple philosophers, Friedrich Nietzsche also, they talk about gazing into the abyss. If you stare too long, the abyss eventually gazes back at you. And yeah, man, your boy's been staring at the abyss for a little bit. I've been reading two books, basically. Sapiens, A Brief History on Humankind. I'm on page 110. This book is fat as shit, man. Like this book has over 400 pages, and I'm on chapter 6, which is page 110. I've been reading this one. A Brief History, a Short History of Truth. And I'm on page 50 of this one. And this one's way shorter. I think there's like it's like 110 plus pages. And basically, man, I've realized the larger scale things get within humankind, the more our darkness comes out. And it's because we use systems, right? Systems is how we create a lot of stuff. SOPs, standard operating procedures. Once we get it down as humans how to build a house, you can build 100 houses using the same SOP because you're doing the same thing. And that's how a lot of people make money. Once you find a standard operating procedure on how to make money, you can continue to make money doing the same thing over and over again, right? Or, not even necessarily making money, just getting the same result over and over again. And, it's very systematic, but systems are very rigid. They're very structured. And I realize the bigger that systems get, the more susceptible they are to corruption, because they inherently take out the human nature and spirit and soul that goes into creation in general, right? So I'm a creative. I'm a person that loves art. I love creating. I love seeing the world through my lens. I love taking photos, videography. This is the way that I take my soul and my essence, and then I'm able to show it to the world, right? So which is why, like, we have the camera down here, you got the natural sunlight, we got the outfit on. It's part of delivering the message, or delivering a result, or delivering a product. And like through reading these books, and I went on a rabbit hole last night, man. I found some old videos on YouTube, like 5 years ago, 8 years ago, of people talking about stuff involving UFOs. And if you've seen anything on the news recently about missing scientists, these people were deep in like UFO technology. A lot of them talked about the stuff out loud, and then they ended up getting disappeared. You feel me? They left the game, hit the Fortnite, they done left the server, you feel me? And it's because the deeper you get, right, the more you stare at that abyss, they say the abyss stares back at you. And a lot of people end up going crazy, like they fall into psychosis whenever they see the truth, the true reality behind everything, because everything is so systematic in our society now. That's why a lot of our souls are literally being siphoned from us, bro. And like, that's the real deal. Like, a lot of people, if you at the bottom of whatever corporation ladder you're in, there's a reason why so many people step on each other to try and get to the top, because it's like down there at the bottom, it's like a dog eat dog world. And it seemed like when you get to the top, it's paradise. But I'll tell you what, man, when you get to the top of that shit, you really start seeing that it's still dog eat dog, except the dogs are sitting with fine dining ware. They got the silverware and the plates, and they got the pearls on. They got the gold earrings, diamond rings and watches. The nails are all manicured, sharpened up like knives. The suit and tie is so sharp. Somebody walk past you with a tie knife, they cut your neck. You feel me? It's still dog eat dog, but it's a bit more civilized, as they like to say. And as human beings, we don't know what we don't know. And what's amazing about humanity is that we can learn from our stupidity. We can learn so much and think we're so smart, but know in fact, that we still have something that we do not have locked down. And what we don't have locked down, you know, we can learn how to adjust that through reading books, through learning from a mentor, through, bro, humans, we're amazing. We're able to adapt to a lot of stuff. But adapting to a system that is designed to suck the soul out of you, I don't know if that's, I don't know if that's an easy thing to adapt to, my guy, you know. And I'm making this because it's, last night, bro, I seen so much shit. I seen so much, and it doesn't get me down to the fact that, like, you know, we can't make it, but it gets me down that, you know, so many people just can't see the bullshit, and it's designed that way. It's designed that way so you don't see it. And I don't even know how to go about it. You know, I don't know how much light I can even shine on it. You know, all I can say is, man, go read some books. You know, all I can say is go watch some videos. You know, I can link them in the description, but even then it's like, I don't know what I'm signing you up for. You know, I know what I signed up for. I know what I decided to do with my intelligence, with my knowledge. I decided to go gain wisdom, and you can gain. I think gaining wisdom is probably the safest route that any human being can ever take on any type of journey. It don't matter what it is. Like, you can get knowledge. Like, knowledge has been commodified, right? We have the ability to type something in and then knowledge comes back to us. Whether that knowledge is original or that knowledge is accurate, who's to say? But you'll get some knowledge. And when you take that knowledge, you can learn something. Sure, you can learn a lot, bro. You can learn like 10 million things in one day if you just, you know, sat and vibe coded and started doing research, deep research for hours on end all day, right? You can learn a lot. But how much can you turn that knowledge into wisdom? Because wisdom is really the only thing that keeps humans from losing their shit, as an easy term. Like, if I was to sit and share with you every single thing that I learned last night that I decided to embody as a version of reality that in fact is true, because we live in a post-truth world. We live in a world where if something happened, somebody else can say this is how it happened, and because they're like a figure, right? Because as human beings, we're social creatures and we are hierarchical creatures. Like, we will listen to somebody in a suit before we listen to our own family member on something, depending on how big the topic is, and depending on, you know, what type of suit they got on and who's wearing the suit, right? A lot of human beings have been conditioned, conditioned to think a certain way, whether you lean this way politically or that way politically. Regardless, there's still somebody above pulling the strings on both ends, and you'll never see them. You'll hear about them now because we finally have one person we can call, named Jeffrey, right? I'm not going to say no other parts of the name. I don't want to risk censoring, you know, Jeffrey. That's a big name. You know, Young Thug name is Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? But Jeffrey, that's a name and a face we can point towards that other side of the abyss, that other side of reality. And, you know, I will be the first to let you know that there's really no getting rid of it. Even if we were to find more people that were doing it, we have to get them out of structures and systems of power. But even if we, like, say, got rid of those people, right? We deleted those people, it will still remanifest. It'll still come back, because this, where we live in, is legitimately a version of hell. And it's only because they're in those power structures. Like, if we were to remove them from the power structures and actually insert, you know, we have to remove power structure, and we have to really change power structure, change the way people learn, change the way people think, in a way that opens up more spirituality, mysticism within this plane of existence. That's the easiest way I can say it. So when you're in school and you're learning about science, the same way you learn about science, you should be learning about deep breathing. The same way you should be learning about how sitting in the sun is actually good for you as a human being. Like, the same way they should talk about how whenever you're eating, you should be eating stuff that's actually good for your diet, good for your gut biome, good for your skin, good for you as a human being. They don't teach us that in school, because school was created by people that don't want you to be anything besides a worker. And now, surprise, surprise, all these generations later, everybody is a worker. Crazy how that works, right? And I remember when I was like 13 years old, bro, I'm in my school, bro. And I'm like, damn, this place kind of like jail. Like, you got to raise your hand to ask to go to the bathroom. Red flag number one. Red flag number two, what really woke me up, bro. I was leaving the school campus and there's like this big ass like pillar, and it's like maybe 6 stories high. And you know, and this is middle school. So like the highest story building we got is 2 stories. But you got this 6-story high like thing with a gate around. And I was thinking, damn, that's really like a sniper nest. Like if they really wanted to, they could put a sniper tower right there. And like anybody trying to escape school, they could just shoot them. And I was having this thought like a long time ago. Like I was like 14, 15 years old. I was thinking like this, right? But school legitimately is designed like jail. You know, and if someone says school is not like jail, ask them. You should ask that person, well, can I go to the bathroom whenever I want to? Can I speak whenever I want to? Am I able to leave the classroom whenever I want to? You inherently lose freedom as soon as you go in those doors, and they say it's for academic purposes. No, it's for your ass to sit there and learn how to be a fucking monkey. You're going to learn how to be a slave. You're going to learn what they want to teach you, and you have no choice but to learn it because your parents learned it, your grandparents learned it, and your great grandparents learned it. And it all came from the same system, from people that did not have your interest at heart. They had their interest at heart, which is why they're generationally wealthy, and they've been generationally wealthy for a very long time. And it's very annoying. Okay, it's annoying, for lack of a better word. It's annoying to see how people can game our whole species and make us all hate each other. Like, bro, they're like, to have your whole species hate each other over the most stupidest shit, and it worked. Like, bro, people really fight each other over sports teams, not knowing that the sport that they're watching is rigged. It's literally scripted. It's like WWE. Like, when I found out WWE was fake, I was like, damn, that really made me not enjoy it anymore. And then you seen that old YouTube video where it's like, it's still real to me. It's a grown ass man crying. It's still real to me. Yeah, it's still real to him because he wants to live in La La Land. And there's a lot of people that love living in La La Land, because if they had to come to the reality that their life has been a game and it's been a system and it's been fucked, well, you got 2 options. You either do something about it or you pretend you never learned the truth. And that shit will eat you up. So I've decided I will learn more. I will share more until eventually they take me out. Because at this point in stage in the game, it's just inevitable. At this point, I've learned a lot. And there's more I'm going to learn. And there's more that I will share. And then I will eventually disappear. And that's just it. That just is how it is. I've accepted it. I'll eventually, you know, I would love to not come back to this shit. Actually, I would love to just like go into some other star system somewhere, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll run into the council or something, and the council will be like, oh, you did a lot, you shared a lot, would you like to reincarnate, come back and help more people? You know, I don't even know. I don't know. We'll see. But until then, you know, I'm gonna keep making some videos, sharing what I learned through reading these books. And if anything, I should make another book. Yeah, I should absolutely do that while I also grow this company. Link down below. Join Khun Camp today, and you know, join a team that's willing to take a stand for stuff that is actually in the benefit of humanity. Like I have a tattoo. I'll show you, since I already got my shirt off anyway. So I got this tattoo inspired by Devil May Cry, the reboot, on my back, bro. Angel wings and a sword. And I realized, for me, man, it means I fight for humanity. This is the team that I'm on, and I stand by that shit. I stand by humanity, because there are other things on this planet. There are things above this planet, around this planet, in the solar system that are not human, and they do not look out for human interest. But I will sit here and I will say that I do look out for human interest to the best of my ability. And I know there's only so much I can do by myself, which is why I need your help. If you're a human and you see this video and you resonate in some way, I need you to share with other like-minded humans that know what's up, that know what's beyond the veil, that want to understand, that want to understand, that know that the world they live in is bullshit, and they want to learn enough to at least attempt to make a difference. Because this shit is rigged against us, my friends. And it always has been since we were born. It was already, the deck was already stacked against us. And a lot other human beings, they've sold out. And they've sold out, unfortunately, to the point where they don't even have control of their own bodies. There's this term called a body snatcher, and this shit is real. There are legitimately people in this world that'll take your soul. And when I say they take your soul, they really take over who you are. They leave you in shame and guilt to where you can't do anything about it because you're already in the deep end. And they prey on that. There are entities in this world that you cannot see, that maybe you can feel, because some of us have our natural given spiritual abilities. And you can tell when something's up. You can tell when somebody wants to talk to you. You can tell when somebody's up to no good. You can feel it internally, instinctually, and you should listen to it because that'll keep you safe in this world. But it takes time to develop these gifts, and not everybody has the ability to develop them right out the womb. Again, man, one of my favorite quotes that I learned a long time ago: you live for nothing or you die for something. And my friends, dying for something sounds really good in this world that we're living in. But that's just my perspective. Let me know what yours is in the comments below. Again, hit the like button, share with a friend. I appreciate you guys being here, listening. And yeah, man, I stared at the abyss for a very long time. It's been staring back at me for a long time, but at least I embody it, I integrate it, and I use it. I use my shadow, I use my dark side for a way to help other people. And that's what I decided to do in my life. It's your boy KhunShawn, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.